Hello everyone, good day, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about Starbucks. So I recently did a video on Starbucks about 3 weeks ago talking about the stock and saying that it was probably a buy somewhere around the $48, $49, $50 range. And guess what? It's currently trading in the $48 range. So is it a buy? Well, now I want to dive a little further into this stock and really see what the deal with Starbucks is. So I'm gonna grab this green marker. So let's talk about Starbucks a little bit. Again, if you don't know about Starbucks, they're a Seattle-based company. They were founded by a few businessmen. Howard Schultz bought them out and expanded Starbucks to what you know and love today. That company that serves that pretty decent coffee and those bomb-ass frappuccinos. Pretty much Starbucks for you. Me personally, I don't go to Starbucks that much. However, I was given a $200 gift card around Christmas time, so I have been going a little more often. I've used about half of the card, and I swear I feel like I only made 3 purchases because it feels like their stuff is so damn expensive. But let's talk about their stock, because that's what I care about. I don't really care about their coffee and fraps. I care about their stock. So let's talk about it. So Starbucks. Starbucks. Their ticker symbol is SBUCKS. BUX. And yeah, so they're currently trading at a price of $48.54. Not too shabby. It's definitely come down a lot. Their stock this year has come down a lot. It has come down over, I feel like I should get red for this. It has come down, their stock has come down over 15% this year. I believe it's about 15.77. So their stock is not doing well this year. It has taken a beating. Like I said, the person who basically made the company what it is, Howard Schultz, announced he's leaving. So that's a pretty big blow to the company. Not to mention, it's also down because their CFO, Scott Ma, said he is retiring at the age of 50 in November. I'm a little thrown back by this news personally because he's retiring at age 50. I did find out that he made approximately $250,000 per month, so I guess maybe he could retire. He has been with the company for a few years, so maybe he saved up enough money and is investing and whatnot, and maybe he doesn't want to work anymore. Could be a possibility, but I'm starting to think that because he's the Chief Financial Officer, CFO, that there might be some smoke to this fire. So, I guess we won't know until officially later, but let's talk about Starbucks a little bit. So, now that Starbucks' price has come down, their current PE is starting to look much more attractive. They're trading in the 15s. The high 15s, it's 15.93, but in the 15s nonetheless. When I last did the video, they were in the 18s, so their PE has come down by about 3, starting to look much more attractive to me as a value investor. So what else can we talk about this stock? Now that their stock has come down, it also made their dividend yield look more attractive too. Their dividend yield is almost 3%. I'm finding it online at around 2.97%. I didn't do the math, but just looking at it quickly, that sounds about right. So 2.97%, around 3% dividends, starting to look much more attractive. If the stock continues to fall, this dividend yield will only look more and more attractive. Like I've said, they've gone down. Why did they go down? Well, like I said, those two people, Howard Schultz and Scott Ma, are leaving, but some other things. They are closing 150 stores. Sounds like a lot of stores. I know if I was a company and I was closing 150 stores, that'd probably be a very bad thing. However, they do own over, get this, 27,000 stores. 27,000 stores and change. And they're opening one in China about every 15 hours. Yikes, that's a lot. So, they're growing pretty quick. And personally, I think they have grown a little too quickly. I live in Toronto, Canada, and over here, just inside of one mall, Yorkdale Mall, there's 3 Starbucks all within 5 minutes walking distance of each other. It's a big mall, but still, that's kind of crazy. So I think they're starting to overreach themselves, like overexpand a little too quickly, and I think half the reason is because of their stock. You know, as a investor, you want to look at a company and see that they're continuing to grow. So, as you see Starbucks continuing to open stores, I think, however, this is hurting them, and they're starting to get a little too competitive with themselves. A couple other things about Starbucks. So, Starbucks is a premium brand. They are very expensive for coffee, and fraps, and iced brews, and food, sandwiches, lemon poppy seed loaves, everything. They're expensive. Much more expensive than your local coffee shop. However, I don't see this as a huge problem just yet. If they can continue to keep their quality up and make good customer service, this shouldn't be an issue. Like I said, I have a Starbucks gift card and I've been going there somewhat recently, more often. And I find their quality to be pretty decent and their customer service to be good. So I currently have no complaints about that. But they should keep that up, and I think that they'll be okay, and they can charge their premium price. In my opinion, they are an Instagram-worthy brand. Whenever I go on Instagram, I do still see people tagging themselves and their friends in Starbucks drinks. So I know they're still relevant that way, as because my friends are doing it, and I see other people doing it too. I don't do it myself, but I see other people do it, so I know it's Instagram worthy, and that's a good sign. You don't want to take a picture of a very bad product and Instagram it. You only want to Instagram high class products. So Starbucks is associated with high class products, which is a very good sign for the company. Therefore, they can charge their higher premium price. So what else about Starbucks? Starbucks is also currently in 75 countries. If you don't know, there is 195 countries in the world. 2 of them are United Nations, so really 193, but total number 195. That means Starbucks still hasn't broken into 120 countries. I didn't 100% look up what all those countries are. I did look at a list. And for the most part, a lot of those countries are poorer countries, to say the least. And to be fair, when you're charging $5 for a Frappuccino and $3 something for a coffee, that is to be expected, because these countries don't have all this extra income to spend because they're not as well developed and they're not earning as much. In some of these countries, they may only earn $1,000 per year, so paying $5 for a cup of coffee is starting to look a little unjustified, correct? So that's just a few things. So I don't know if they're going to be able to break into all 120 countries, but maybe over time they might be able to break into a few. Also, like I said, I live in Toronto, Canada. The minimum wage here last year was $11.60. As of February 1st, the minimum wage went to $14. That is a $2.40 raise. Now, Starbucks prides themselves on paying above minimum wage. Before, they were paying $13 an hour. Pretty big, right? So $11.60, $13. They're paying $1.40 more per hour from what I've heard. I never worked there, so I can't confirm, but what I've heard from someone I know who worked there, they were getting $13. I don't know what the official price is now, but I imagine it's somewhere around the $15 mark, maybe $14, maybe $15, $16. It's hard to say, but minimum wage is $14, and before they were making just over around $2 more, so maybe now they're at $16. I don't know, I can't confirm that, but I'm starting to think that that's probably where their price would be. So you have to think that now Starbucks is paying a lot more for their workers. That's gotta hurt their bottom line. Another big thing that I feel like no one talks about is the price of coffee. And I'm not talking about the price of Starbucks' coffee, what they sell to you. I'm talking about the price of coffee that Starbucks gets. Starbucks has to buy their coffee, and they buy it in bulk. Currently, coffee is trading, if I can even fit it on this board, at $1.23. Pretty cheap. However, this is near all-time lows. Coffee in around 2011, the back half of 2011, was trading at about $2.77. As you can see here, $1.23 is a lot less than $2.77. So Starbucks right now is currently paying the $1.23 price for coffee. That's really good, because if they go back to $2.77 or anywhere near that, or possibly even higher, that's going to really hurt Starbucks' bottom line. They're going to make half as much as they would on coffee. That's really not good, guys. So Starbucks has to look into this. I mean, they can't really do much because the price of coffee is what it is. But maybe they got to try and possibly increase their profits somewhere else, although they already charge a very high price for coffee. So I don't know how much higher they can really go. We're going to have to wait and see, guys. But this could be a very important factor in my opinion. So I feel like I talked about pretty much everything that I want to talk about the other stuff. Now let's get into more of the financials of this company. So Starbucks currently holds around $2.3 billion in cash. Pretty good, definitely not a bad number. However, this is where things get a little different. Their total assets are just over $5 billion. That's their short-term assets. Their long-term assets are in the 12 billions. However, that counts in their plants and whatnot, so unless they're going to close their business and liquidate everything, you can't really count that in. It only counts if they want to borrow more debt. And speaking of debt, that's where I want to get into next. So for kind of short-term debts, they're over $5 billion. Not great. It's more than double their current cash. And for long-term debt, they're over 12 billion. Again, not a great thing, guys. So that's one thing to definitely look at. This company, they are a profitable company. Obviously, you can tell that just by their PE, but they are a profitable company, and in the past 3 quarters, they made pretty good money. So in quarter 3, they made $5.66 billion in revenue, and they netted $691.2 million. In quarter 4, they made $5.7 billion and netted $788.6 million. And then in quarter 1 of 2018, they made $6.7 billion, and then from that they netted $2.25 billion. Definitely a pretty damn good number, so that's a good sign. However, that is their Christmas quarter, which is most companies' best quarter, and definitely Starbucks' best quarter as well. All in all, guys, you should always do your own research on a stock, but I'm about to give you the lowdown on what I think of this stock. What do I think about Starbucks' stock, and should you buy it? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Me personally, I know I said I'd buy it. It was looking more attractive around these levels, and it is looking more attractive around these levels, which is why I thought I should review this stock. However, I'm not a buyer just yet because I believe the stock will fall further. I didn't mention that on their next quarter, when they're due to report earnings, they said that they weren't going to be that great. I think they're trying to soften the blow, so I would be a little worried on that. Not super worried, as I think they'll bounce back in the long term. However, if you're trying to buy the stock at the rock bottom lowest price, you probably want to wait a little bit longer. I'm starting to think right around the $42 mark is starting to be a great buy for this stock. I do have faith in Starbucks, and I don't think they're going to go bye-bye anytime soon. However, with their current bad rap of Howard Schultz leaving, the CFO leaving, and the fact that they had some problems in the media about being racist and not treating black people with respect, this is kind of negatives for the stock. So I'm starting to think that I believe the stock will continue to go down further, and just looking at their stock and just looking at their chart, I can see that their stock looks like it is downtrending, and I believe it's on a downward spiral and will continue to go down for the next little bit. So all in all, if you have the stock, that's probably not such a bad thing unless you bought it around $60. Then I'm sorry. If you bought it recently at around the $48, $49, $50 mark, you're probably going to make money. I definitely see the stock going to the $60 mark next year. I don't think it will reach it this year. However, next year, if China does well and they continue to, be a decent company, I believe their stock will definitely hit $60, and I see that as pretty much no problem. At these levels, it is looking good. Lower, I think it's even more attractive as you can buy more, and it's just, the larger margin of safety. So it's always better to buy low and sell high, although that's virtually impossible, but we're going to try. So all in all, guys, buy the stock probably around, if you can get it around $42. If it dips that low, I believe it will. We'll have to wait and see. But buy the stock probably around that price. If the stock does get that low, I think I'm going to review it again and do a final verdict. And then I might personally make a position in the stock myself. Maybe use it as a dividend play and possibly make it my third biggest holding and bring it into my account. And I might take a sip of the stock myself. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and comment down below your thoughts and theories on the stock. Do you own the stock? Do you want to own the stock? Is it a good stock? Is it a garbage stock? And tell me a stock you want me to review, and I'll check it out and I'll review it. Alright, guys? So until next time, guys, see you later. Stay safe and remember to make lots of cash. Till next time.